Morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Those that are here live, thanks so much for being here. Those here any day of the week, thanks for tuning in. Video, audio, whatever it is that you're here, we appreciate you being here. Thank God it's Monday, TGIM, a new week, a new opportunity. It's springtime for those that are close to being on track with us. Every once in a while, we get an email that someone's listening and they're just a couple of weeks behind. That's fine. For those that are here somewhere around the time that we're talking about, you should know that it's springtime. And again, for the East Coasters, you understand what this means. So amazing to wake up in the morning, and by the time the sun breaks, it's already 50 degrees. You know how much we could accomplish? So much. Thank God it's Monday. We've been speaking last week about the idea of the responsibility of time. We ended last week speaking about infusing thought to time. I want you to picture time like a balloon. And it can be fizzled. You can have it, but it's got very little air in it. You ever have to blow up a balloon? One of these like balloony toys. And you blow it up a little bit, but it's hard. And it just feels as you touch it, it just feels like, it's already like, it feels like nebby. But the bat that you're like trying to blow up, which is impossible, it just doesn't really hit, because as you tried to blow up that little toy, it didn't go. You ever like blow up some kind of like raft for a pool, and then the kid jumps on top of it and like just totally like falls into the pool because he just didn't have the breath to put into it? So why do you think of time like that? It's like a blow up toy. And it's got a little air in it. Not much. And we decide how much air goes into the toy. We decide how much intention goes into the hour before us. And if we roll into the hour, we roll into the day, it just feels like, it feels weak. We feel weak. We don't really have it. You walk around feeling like half always tired, half battery. Where does that come from? You can have all the right sleep. Some of it, by the way, is food. We tend to eat the wrong foods, and we tend to eat a lot of the wrong food. So if you're consuming a lot of carbs, it's not really helping you. This whole like breakfast of carbs is just our way of just consuming what's in front of us. It's a disaster. How in the world do we ever think we'd have a very productive day if we begin it with like muffins? I don't know how that slipped by, but it somehow did. Bagels and muffins somehow slipped into the system. That's a great idea. Let's overdo it in carbs before 10 a.m. That's going to do wonders to our ability to be productive. But that's a whole nother story. We should do a show on this, but that's a whole nother story. But the real reasons why we walk around half exhausted are pancakes and waffles. Can you imagine pancakes and waffles? How in the world did that somehow slip through the system? That you can go to a breakfast and eat pancakes, waffles, and sugar syrup, and somehow think that you're not going to have to take a nap after like 11 o'clock in the morning. Like, I don't understand. I don't know. But the deeper reason is because when we wake up in the morning and we start our day, the time that we have before us, since we don't take full responsibility for it, the time that we have before us feels fungible. Fried chicken feels fungible. It feels like it's like any other hour. So we have this little blow-up toy called an hour. and we we blow a little bit of energy into it. We blow a little bit of intention into it. And then we use it. And then we engage in the thing we need to engage in. We engage in getting up in the morning. We engage in the work that we have. And we engage in it at 50%, at 60%. You ever meet people that are 100% in? People like this? You ever go on a trip and it's 5:30 in the morning and we gotta go somewhere? We do this in our trips in Israel. It's 5:30 a.m. and we went on Thursday of our trips, we go down to Masada. You could tell everything about the trip by that morning. You go to the breakfast room, they specially open up for us. You got 150 guys in that room. 6 a.m. 80% of people are just walking, totally sleepwalking. They're just bumping into things. 15 guys are rock and roll, top of the morning to you. Let's do this. And you're thinking what was in your coffee? Was that coffee you drank? And it's so weird that people wake up in the morning and they're let's do this. Breathe intention into an hour that typically is meant for most people sleeping. You ever go to work? And it can be 9:30. People are I need a coffee. I'm going to die without my coffee. Now, just to the record, coffee is the most valuable thing we have. In my opinion, it is God's gift to humanity. I hold as a holy drink. Personally, when I make kiddush on Friday night, I think I can make it on coffee. That's a different conversation. I think that coffee rivals a nice Cabernet. That's just my opinion. So there's one thing that I'm not messing with is coffee, but there are people that come on, if I don't get my coffee, I'm going to die. Oh my gosh. And it's I'm yeah, but it's 10 a.m. Then you go to work with some people and they're good morning. Good morning. No, I don't mean you have to be yelling. It's in their eyes. They're twinkling in their eyes. It's the afternoon and some people are oh my gosh, if I don't get an afternoon cup. Is it 5 o'clock yet? And some people are just rocking. 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, rocking. Are they born with more energy? Maybe. The secret is the idea of intention. I'm not saying they do this on purpose. They may have seen this growing up, or they may have a little bit more energy, maybe. But when you go into your hour, when you go into your job, when you go into your day, they infuse it with energy. They force the energy in. It's like when they hand you that blow-up doll. You don't have enough breath for the blow-up doll, but you use every bit of your energy to blow into that doll. Something that it didn't have before. When we were created, the verse in Torah says, "V'yipach bi'apov nishmas chaim." God, now remember, God's not a human being. And the creation story could have been anything. If the Torah recounts it, it's teaching us lessons. It's a lesson book, not a history book. The Torah is not a biology book. The Torah says that God blew from his nostrils our soul. It was an act that blew into us. It's not like God snapped his fingers and there's a soul in there. The breath, the push, the intention created an energy. Just think about these words. V'yipach bi'apov nishmas chaim. He blew with his nostrils the soul of life. That means that God blew. He acted. He took a blow-up doll called a human being, and he infused it with energy. The energy didn't just come out of nowhere. It was infused. He blew energy. If you've ever had this in your life before, you know what I mean. There are times in our lives where we are not in the mood, but we have no choice. So we get up and we have no choice but to go to work, and someone's waiting for us there. I don't mean we drag ourselves around. I mean when you have to be on for somebody. And all of a sudden you're on, and all of a sudden you're like, you forget that you were tired. Do you ever have this? When you have to be the responsible one. So you're like, let's go, even though you don't feel like saying let's go. And all of a sudden you got this energy. Where did the energy come from? I thought you didn't have the energy. Why is it that when you rolled into class and all the kids are sleeping and you're the teacher and you're like, come on, everybody, good morning. You don't feel like you want to say good morning, but you say it anyways. Do you know why? Because you always had the energy inside you. Because the way we feel before the thing that we have to engage in is not indicative of the energy that we have inside us. When the alarm clock goes off and our brain says we can't get out of bed, that's not indicative of the energy that you have if you get out of bed. And if you fight and get out of bed and you're walking around and you start your day, and if you've ever done this, if you ever had to go somewhere early in the morning, if you ever have to drive, if you ever have to do this, do you ever have to drive before the world gets up and your alarm clock goes off? You have to travel before, forget doing things, just traveling. Do you ever have to like go out of your house before the world is up and your alarm clock goes off and you go, I just can't, I don't have it. I just don't have it. But you have no choice. You ever have this? And you get up anyways. And now you're driving in the car on the highway and there's nobody there and the sun is coming up. And what are you thinking? Usually you're not thinking, I can't do this. You're thinking, oh my gosh, this is amazing. You're on the plane at 6 a.m. And as the plane takes off, you see the sun come up over the clouds. You're not thinking, oh my God, I'm sleeping. Some people are. You're thinking, oh my gosh, I didn't know I had this inside me. When you go to that classroom or that trip or that presentation or whatever you're doing, and you're already up and you're doing your thing, you don't then go back and go, man, I wish I was sleeping. Which means that before you enter anything, the brain gives you information that is not accurate because it's trying to keep you safe and trying to keep you comfortable. And when we engage in activities, if we really want to be stewards of time, we have to realize that just having the time isn't enough. We have to infuse energy into the time. When the alarm clock goes off, we have to stop and go, I have more energy than my brain is telling me. I have to get up with enthusiasm. I have the enthusiasm. I just have to blow it into the hour. I know my brain says I need to go back to sleep. My brain always tells me to go back to sleep because I have a survival mechanism. And when you're comfortable, you'll survive more. But that's not who I am. I'm a soul that wants to be great, but I can't be great if I'm going to drag myself through the day. I'm not a steward of capital. If someone gives me $1 million to invest and I approach investing in a lackadaisical fashion, I'm not going to pick the first stock that comes up on the ticker. I'm not going to walk into the company that I'm investing in and be like, this looks good. If I don't bring energy into what I'm doing, I'm not a steward of capital. I'm not a steward of time. If when I approach time, I don't blow into that time energy. If I just trust my brain, I'm going to drag all day long. I'm going to be tired my whole life. People are tired their entire life. At every stage, they're tired. They're teenagers and they're exhausted. They're young adults, exhausted. They're in their mid-30s, exhausted, exhausted, 60s, exhausted. Their whole life is one life of exhaustion. Are they sleeping 2 hours? Are they working in a factory? Are they sitting up and making 30 cents a day, coming back to a little house, spending a few cents on potatoes, living in a tiny apartment, going to the bathroom down the hall? I'm not saying people aren't working hard. People work really hard. And at some point you got to take a break, and you got to know what you're doing. You can't overwork yourself. But I know people that don't really work that hard at all, and they're exhausted. I know people that work really, really hard, and they keep on doing it. God bless them. I'm related to these people. They just work and work and work. They never stop. I'm not talking about them. I know a lot of other people that don't really work. I mean, they work, but they're not like, they're not carrying bricks all day. But there's no enthusiasm because the hour doesn't have any intention to it. We don't realize how critical every hour of our life is. We don't realize the gift that we have. And so when we approach the things that we're doing, we don't infuse it with energy. We approach the jobs that we have, we don't infuse it with energy. You know how many things in my life I could tell you honestly that I regret? How many business opportunities that I look back and I'm thinking, had I had more energy? How many times in my own life that I look back and go, what was I thinking? Why did I not approach it with more energy, with more enthusiasm, with more alacrity, with more boldness? What was I worried about? What did I take for granted? So much of my life, I look back and I wonder what could have happened had I been more enthusiastic. Honestly. I had enough sleep. I had enough access to nutrition. I had enough safety and security. What was it? It was my brain keeping me comfortable. It was my body telling me to relax. Telling me it's too hard. You're too tired. It's almost the weekend. TGIF. It's like Michael just said it. It's just an excuse. And then when we live without that level of boldness, that level of enthusiasm, and things don't work in our way, the best thing to do is just blame other people. It's a cycle. It's because we don't appreciate the time. Every hour of our day is just a blow-up doll. It's a blow-up toy. You infuse it with energy, that toy is going to be tight and you can use it. You don't infuse with energy, it's going to be soft. And it's not going to really work. And you're not going to know why. And you're going to think it's you. It's not you. You got enough talents to do whatever you want in life. You do. Girls, God wouldn't put it in front of you. God wouldn't put stuff in front of you just to play with you. He doesn't dangle things in front of people to torture them. He does it because he's showing you what you could do, what you can accomplish. God blows himself into us. And he says, why don't you blow you and me, the godly peace, into your day? God's like, I teach you how to do this. You got to blow energy. Try this today. We're going to talk about this a little bit. Try it today. Take one thing that you're going to do today. Try to see if in your head you can look at them. Try this. Just try this. Look at your day. Pick one thing that you're doing and see if you can give it like an energy monitor. 1 to 100. Just see if you can give an energy monitor. Where are you? You're at a 50. You're at a 60. And then I want you to picture as if you are intentionally infusing energy into it just for a period of time, 10 minutes. Picture the monitor going up from 50 to 60, from 60 to 70, from 10 to 20. And do it. Don't question it. Don't worry about it. Don't overthink it. And then see how it feels afterwards. See how much energy we really have. We have an infinite source of energy. We just got to learn how to blow it out. All right, we'll talk about this more. All right. Have an amazing day, everybody. Let's do it. Let's blow energy into our days. Let's not let life pass us by. Let's infuse our energy into every bit of it. All right, have a great day. And with God's help, I can't wait to see you again tomorrow.